And now here on AVL today, turning to President Biden. He was in Brussels, Belgium, of course, yesterday, meeting there with the leaders of other NATO countries looking to show Russia's Vladimir Putin that the alliance is still strong. Here's the commitments that the president announced to Ukraine and NATO yesterday.
And today, I'm announcing the United States is prepared to commit more than $1 billion in humanitarian assistance to help get relief to millions of Ukrainians affected by the war in Ukraine. Many Ukrainian refugees will wish to stay in Europe, closer to their homes. But we also will welcome 100,000 Ukrainians to the United States with a focus on reuniting families. And we will invest $320 million to bolster democratic resilience and defend human rights in Ukraine and neighboring countries. We're also coordinating with the G7 and the European Union on food security as well as energy security. And I'll have more to say about that tomorrow. We're also announcing new sanctions of more than 400 individuals and entities in alignment with the European Union. More than 300 members of the Duma, oligarchs, and Russian defense companies that fuel the Russian war machine.
So right there you heard more money for Europe, as well as taking in 100,000 refugees from Ukraine into the U.S. But did you catch that middle part he said there? The president saying he's going to be working with European allies to alleviate food shortage concerns as Ukraine and Russia provide nearly 30% of the world's wheat. Here's what the president had to say about that issue.
With regard to food shortage, yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. And because both Russia and Ukraine have been the breadbasket of Europe in terms of wheat, for example, just to give you one example. But we had a long discussion in the G7 with both the United States, which has a significant, the third largest producer of wheat in the world, as well as Canada, which is also a major producer. And we both talked about how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. And in addition to that, we talked about urging all the European countries and everyone else to end trade restrictions on sending limitations on sending food abroad.
Let me show you this too. The president also had this strange moment when leaving the stage there yesterday. He seemed to get a bit flustered as reporters kept asking him questions. Take a look.
Thank you very, very much.
Mr. President,
Whoa. No. Yeah, one final question, right. Hey, look, wait, hold on a second, please. I was supposed to be an hour ago at the European Union meeting and to speak. No, I'm thanking you. So someone I haven't called on before. You. Who are you? Okay.
Sir, deterrence didn't work. What makes you think Vladimir Putin will alter course based on the action you've taken today?
Let's get something straight. You remember, if you covered me from the very beginning, I did not say that, in fact, the sanctions would deter him. Sanctions never deter. You keep talking about that. Sanctions never deter. The maintenance of sanctions, the increasing the pain, and the demonstration why I asked for this NATO meeting today is to be sure that after a month we will sustain what we're doing, not just next month, the following month, but for the remainder of this entire year. That's what will stop him.
So President Biden there again repeating that the imposed sanctions were never meant to deter Vladimir Putin. However, that is not what the administration had to say about it before the sanctions were put in place. Here's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan last month contradicting the president.
The president believes that sanctions are intended to deter. And in order for them to work to deter, they have to be set up in a way where if Putin moves, then the costs are imposed.
So we wait to see now if the new round of sanctions will hurt Putin enough to stop his war in Ukraine. But it seems like the Russians can keep the invasion going for a little while longer. Stay tuned for sure.